and welcome to this episode of Coach Cara's podcast, Itchy, Bitchy and Guests. Today, very exciting, I have Jill on. Now, Jill owns Kelso and Titch and Bridge of Allan, by the way, so if you've got any puppers, you need to get along there. Puppers? And
Puppers
cats?
and cats.
Any pets?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we do some
Dogs
small
and
pet
cats,
things.
dogs and cats. Awesome. So Jill works with me in my Ladies That Lift, and she also works with me in the Midlife Reset. So she's building muscle and sorting out her nutrition to fuel said muscle and said midlife.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to hand you over to Jill for a couple of minutes, and Jill is going to tell us all about herself. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Caris.
Knock yourself out.
Excuse me. I'm Jill.
Why are you so wee? I need to get
I
another
know,
seat.
I'll move a bit closer.
Swap seats.
I'm getting the hot seat.
You have my... I'll just be a smurf.
There we go.
That's better.
Okay, so I am I looking at you? I'm looking at you.
Doesn't matter.
Right, I'm Jill.
camera.
I'm 52. I own Kelso and Titch, which is a pet boutique in Bridge of Allan. I started Ladies That Lift last summer, just on the fitness side of things. And then I started working with Caris earlier this year on the nutrition side of things. Yeah, I'm married to Alan, who works overseas. He's based in Saudi. I have 2 kids growing up. One lives at home, Heather, she's 25, and I've got a son who's 22, Hamish, and he lives in Edinburgh with his girlfriend. There you go.
Nice.
Potted history of me.
Banging.
Yeah.
Banging. So you came to work with me through Fiona Dale?
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah, because you know Fiona Dale.
Yeah.
Fiona has been on this podcast before. And I think you did it the right way, as in you started one thing first, like Ladies That Lift and weightlifting and stuff, and then when you'd been doing that for a couple of months, you decided that you wanted to sort your nutrition out.
Yeah, I knew Fiona DL was coming to you, more the fitness side of things to begin with. And then it was actually one day that she'd posted or shared one of your photos at the end of the class, and I saw Alison Moore, who's also in the class, who's also a friend of mine, and I didn't know that she attended. And I was like, oh my goodness, so 2 of my friends were in your class, and I thought, must be something good about this. Must be something good.
Must be quite decent.
Must be all right. So that's how I'd said to Fiona. And to be fair, I know that Fiona's on, you've had Fiona on before, and she's on a major journey and it's amazing for it. And I did ask her if it was okay if I came along, because I didn't want to steal her thunder. If you know what I mean. And I said, look, I really fancy doing this. What it's doing for you looks amazing. I would quite like to join, but only if you're all right with it. And she was, and that was fine. And I came along.
I didn't realise you knew Alison.
Yeah.
Out with
yes,
Ladies That Lift.
I did. Yes,
didn't realise that.
she's a friend of mine that I've known for ages, and I never knew that she came to that.
Yeah, she's also been on a massive journey as well. It's this midlife malarkey, isn't it? Do you not think it's like we can actually just do whatever we want?
Totally. Although I've always done that. Don't need to be midlife for that. But no, that's how I started, because I'd seen obviously Fiona, and I saw Alison was there too, and I thought I'm going to give that a go, because I mean I had ran before. I used to run, and I was in a running club. I wasn't the best runner, to be fair. I only discovered running in my early 40s. And I did the 5k, couch to 5k, and then I did a couple of 10ks, and then I was training for half marathon, and I did quite like it. I wasn't the fastest, and as I say, I went to a local running club.
When you run, you're a runner.
Exactly, and I did quite like it, but I had a few injuries. I had some issues with joints and stuff like that, and then lockdown hit, and obviously that was the end of that. And I just felt I just wasn't doing anything. I was sitting on the couch, and obviously was kind of started at that time as well, and I didn't know that's what it was.
Because we never know.
No. It was lockdown. We were all sitting in our arses. I put on a wee bit of weight, not a huge amount to be fair, because my work didn't stop. At that time I worked in the garage. We used to make dog biscuits in the beginning, and I worked in the garage. So I didn't stop work because I was classed as pet care, so I was allowed to keep going. So I didn't stop work, but you weren't getting out and about. The running club had changed its dynamic, and that kind of finished. Joint pain started. That was the major thing for perimenopause. For me, was joint pain. And I'm like, why am I so sore? And you just put everything down to lockdown. Oh, it's because I'm sitting down. Oh, it's lockdown. It's because it's lockdown. You know, nobody's getting out. I'm sore because it's lockdown. I'm not sleeping at night because it's lockdown. I'm waking up through the night, I've got anxiety, it's lockdown. And everything I was putting down to that, and I've never had anxiety in my life, ever. But I was waking up, and I mean, when I say anxiety, it doesn't always mean that you're like totally suicidal. It just means that you wake up and your brain starts, you know, and you're like, what will I have for dinner? What socks will I wear today? Oh, have I got enough washing powder? Those kind of things. And it's not like you're worried, it's just that you're thinking. And I thought, what the hell
like you're on
is
high
this?
alert, eh?
Yeah.
All the time,
because I mean,
constantly.
I would wake up with the dog. Maybe the dog would be padding about on the floor, and I would wake up and I wouldn't get back to sleep because that was my brain starting to go. And I never really thought anything of it other than it was a bit inconvenient. And then I think during that lockdown period, Davina McCall did her documentary, which I watched, and I was like, I wonder if maybe could that be me? Nah, surely not. Because we all know in our head we're 21.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And that's the hard thing, because our body is not that age, but in here we are. So it's really difficult to actually think, do you know what? You are in your midlife. I thought maybe it is. Because I never had hot flushes. My mum struggled really badly and still does, bless her, with flushes. And I just assumed, well, that's what you get when you're going through menopause. You just get flushes. Never happened for me. Anyway, I hope I'm going off on a tangent here.
Carry on, knock yourself out. It's the whole point of this. Just go, Jill, just go.
So I contacted the GP. Everything was done over the phone at that point. And actually, to be fair, it was a lovely GP. Although she did say, what do you know about perimenopause and what do you want out of it? And I'm thinking, is that not your job? But she was right. And I said, look, have you seen this Davina thing? I am the right age. X, Y, and Z. And also the period thing. Sorry to be so graphic.
Carry on.
I don't get periods. I had a hysterectomy, a partial hysterectomy when I was 36, due to having giant babies. So I don't have a womb. I do have my ovaries, which is why I didn't go into menopause at that stage. But I didn't know, because I don't get periods. So I didn't know if things were changing. So it's even harder for me. And because I've had that done, they said that you may go into menopause a wee bit earlier, but you'll not know. So anyway, so I contacted the GP. Excuse me. She called me back and said, well, it sounds as though all the symptoms that you've got are perimenopause. You're the right age. There's no point in doing blood tests because you're over 45. Yep. I was about maybe 47, I think, at that age. And she said, you want to try HRT, which I did. I'm only on estrogen because I don't have a womb. Tried patches, overnight life changing. I'm like, what the hell? What is going on? And you know, it's funny because after I got on them and things settled down a wee bit, and I was talking to my husband about it, and I said I'd find myself getting angry about things. And I mean, I'm a bit of a stroppy boot anyway, right? But I don't get angry. And I would find myself, I'd be annoyed about something like maybe dishes in the sink, but I would go off the scale.
The rage.
What? And Alan was like, do you know what? Actually, you were a nightmare. We were all too scared to say anything. I'm like, why did nobody say anything? Yeah. And he's like, you were a bit of a nightmare. And I think he even noticed once I'd gone on to HRT that I'd gone back. And I don't know that he really thought about it much until he saw the change and thought, oh, actually, yeah, she was a nightmare. So, The
rage. The rage. I also suffer from the rage. Not so much now, but at the very beginning. And if you ask Cal, he's been super supportive, but he will also, like Alan, tell people that I was an actual nightmare, but I didn't know it. And
you don't realise.
He said to me at one point, you can't be angry at everybody all the time. And I'm like, right, if he's telling me that, then there's actually a problem. And also anxiety for me as well. No. And I'm not an anxious person, but that was the two worst things I would say.
It was crazy.
The hot flashes I loved because I was freezing, so I had 6 months of my life when I was just warm all the time. It was amazing.
No. And the insomnia, I didn't like the waking up thing. But I think now that's just age. I mean, that just comes with us all.
Yeah, I think it does.
But so during that time, I'd got myself onto HRT. I'd got myself kind of settled, if you like, on a bit of a more even keel. But wasn't doing a whole lot of activity. Other than on my feet and dotting about, that kind of thing. I wasn't doing a huge amount of activity. And then a couple of years passed, we'd come out of lockdown, and I thought, I need to do something. And in terms of my weight, it doesn't really fluctuate that much. I'm obviously overweight, but I'm not a yo-yo dieter. I've got friends that can lose 3 stone in a summer.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How do you do that? I've never been that kind of person. Yeah. So it's very, very, very gradual. It was creeping up a wee bit, and I'm like, I need to do something.
Which is fairly common in midlife, to be fair.
I did notice it more in midlife. That I'm thinking, wow, you know, I'm trying to cut back on my food, and actually nothing's happening. So you've said before, what worked for you when you're in your 20s doesn't work for you in your 50s or your midlife. So I was getting a wee bit a bit blobby, a bit unfit, a bit blobby, a bit blobby, a wee bit unfit. The running, I had gone back after lockdown had finished. I went back to the running club. They had done a couch to 10k program, and I thought, oh, I'll do that. It wasn't couch. It absolutely was not couch.
It was a 5k, 10k.
Yes. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And you know, this kind of, it messed with my head, because I did each training session. It was a couple of training sessions outside with the club, and then you had to do one on your own. And I did every single one. I turned up for every single class. I did every single session, including the one on my own at home. And then it was after, I think it was 12 weeks, they said, right, you're ready for your 10k. I says, I'm not ready. I've done 10ks before. I'm not ready. I need another few weeks. No, if you've done all the sessions, you're doing it by time, you're not doing it by distance.
Yeah.
If you're working to a goal, you have to train by distance. If I can run X far, if I can run X far. But they were just saying, well, if you've done it in an hour, you're ready. No. Anyway, I was like, right, I'll do it. And they did the run on the hottest day of the year. It was at 6:00 in the evening, so it'd been hot all day in June. It'd been hot all day. Did this run, and it was, I don't know if you'll know Click Manager, but you do.
Did it up and tell about it?
So you did. So you'll know the canvas path, right? Straight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
the most boring route to run.
It was brutal. So all the way to Main Street, turn around, come all the way back. It was horrendous. So it started at the rugby ground, actually, and then on to the canvas path, and it was like, I just want to die. I want to die. I hated every single minute of it. I hated it. And I hated that people were out watching, because they got all the normal running club to come and support us. That was my idea of hell.
It was that PR thing. Yeah.
Oh, it was horrendous. And then at the end of it, they're like, oh, yeah, come on, keep going. I'm like, I don't want people at the finish line. Tell them to go away. I don't want them there. I just want to finish this and go home and die. It was awful. And it really, really, I mean, I did it. I finished it and I did it. But it absolutely, that's it. I'm never running again.
Opinion.
Never running again.
I think as well, though, but when you put all that effort in, it's like when you run a half marathon. Do you know, when you sign up to it or whatever, you put all the effort in with the training so that you can specifically enjoy the thing that you've signed up for. So that's pretty shit, to be fair, that you did all that training and it was like the worst day of your life.
Yeah, I hated it. Yeah. I hated it.
And that put you off of running?
Totally.
Yeah,
and it kind of put me off fitness, I suppose, for a while. At that point, I didn't really think there was anything else you could do, because I'm not a gym bunny, or at least I didn't think I was then. And then, you know, a couple of years later, I was friends with Fiona. I saw that she was doing this thing, and I thought, you know, I'll maybe give it a go, because she would describe what you were doing, and it wasn't just lifting weights. No, it's CrossFit, so there's a bit of everything. I thought, well, do you know, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go and see. And I think what appealed to me was that it was ladies, and it was 45 and over. Yep. And I thought, you know what, I'll be within a like-minded group. We're of the same age, the same ability. Well, no, we've all got different abilities, but we're all of the same point in our life. Yeah. And I wouldn't feel as if I was really, I don't know, out of place with elite runners as it used to be when I was running. And I loved it. Came along, absolutely loved it. And I thought, this is it. This is what I should be doing. And, well, the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, midlife, we need to lift weights, right? It's not...
I've now learned why I should be doing that. I didn't know that then.
No.
But I now know why I should be lifting weights, and I'm a total advocate for it, and I'll bang on to anybody that wants to listen, which is
or
no one.
That doesn't want to listen. I'm the same. We can talk about it till I'm blue in the face. So when we get to our age, we need to strengthen our joints. We need to strengthen our bones. We need to not lose the muscle that we've got. So lifting weights is like, I'm not a lover of saying you should be doing this, but it literally is the one of the things that you should be doing for midlife. But also, when you get to our age, walking into a gym class or a gym when there's younger, fitter females, do you know what I mean, that maybe have the body shape that we used to have, or the body shape that we've always secretly coveted, do you know, with their hot pants and their crop tops. And can I just say, I'm not slagging them off, right? If I was 20-year-old, pert breasts and a peachier arse than I've got, I would absolutely wear my crop top and my hot pants. But when you get to our age, it's difficult, do you know, because your confidence does take a dun. But also when you're being coached by somebody that's young and somebody that's never been through midlife or been through the peri-meno as well, it's hard. So everybody just needs to find their tribe, and that's not a plug for ladies that lift, but obviously
but it's true. But it's true though.
You need to find something.
You have to have like-minded people.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, even with running, we were all like-minded people. And one of the things that used to bug me, actually, I wasn't one of the fastest runners, but I used to do it. I mean, I was able to do it. And I remember one of the nights we used to meet up, and they'd said, right, we meet at the town hall and we're going to run up to this point. It was about a mile away, and that's your warm up. And then we'll do the training session. And it was training session. It wasn't just let's go out for a run. It was like loops and things like that we did within an hour. So everybody was able to do it at their own pace. But the warm up would be like a run, and it would be an easy run, right? So we're all going to run and we're going to meet up here, and then we'll start the session. And I mean, I'm at the back. I'm like, and this is your warm up. And all the elite runners would be right up at the top waiting for you. And, and it's like, well, they're getting a rest before they start the session. Whereas I'm like a turtle and treacle, giving it, blowing at my arse, get to the start, no rest. And then I'm having to go straight into the session. And it's like, this does not make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I mean, they were all really supportive and really nice, but it's like, I don't enjoy this. This is not me. I don't like this. And I did it because I should. Yeah. But no.
Yeah, and on that note, do you know, there is a lot of stuff out there on the internet as well that midlife women shouldn't run. But, do you know, if you enjoy it and it doesn't hurt you, it's, do you know, just do it. Yeah. It literally is about finding that thing that you like, because that's the thing that you'll stick to. And for you, it's lifting weights.
Yeah.
And all the other malarkeys, like your 29-minute roll a day. Exactly.
Best word ever.
So you do enjoy it.
I do enjoy it. Yeah. And I never thought I would ever say that. Ever.
I love it.
What the hell?
So what benefits does doing CrossFit, doing the ladies that lifting weights, bring to your life outside the gym? Because it's not just that 1 hour.
No.
5 times a week or whatever.
The main thing is, I mean, I've said earlier, I own a pet shop, and we deal with heavy bags of dog food, as well as other things. And I run the pet shop myself. I do have my sister that helps.
Kelso and Titch, by the way. Bridge of Allan.
Anyway. So I have my sister that helps out, but when we're in the shop, we're in by ourselves. Yeah. So when I get a delivery, it comes on a pallet and they leave it outside. You know, I have no loading bay, none of this stuff. Yeah. They leave it outside on the street. So I have to clear it as quickly as I can because I'm not causing an obstruction. And we're talking 12 kilo bags of dry dog food, as well as other things. And it's heavy. And I've got to lug it from the front of the shop all the way through the shop and leave it out the back and find a space for it. And it's heavy ass shit. And no one else is going to do it for me.
No.
And then once I've done that, I need to then move the pallet, which pallets are heavy.
Yeah.
I've got to move that to a safe place, usually around the back. And if I didn't lift weights, there's no way I would manage to do that. I would pull a muscle, I'd injure myself, and I'd be sore. I mean, I'd still have to do it, but I'd be sore. So lifting weights for me helps me do that. And the number of folk that come along and say, do you want a hand? No, you're all right.
Do you want a hand, hen?
Aye, no, you're all right.
Hello, Jasper.
So I do it. Excuse me. And I also notice, see when I've got a wee table and chairs that I put outside We've got a little front bit outside the front of our shop, and I put a wee table and chairs out. And the table's like one of these IKEA ones with kind of wrought iron legs, and the chairs are the same, and they're quite heavy. And there's me, one in each hand,
lifting them up, yourself.
Yeah. So that really makes a difference, being able to lift that stuff. I wouldn't say with ease, because it's still 12 kilos and it's still heavy, but I'm doing it easier than I would have done had I not been training or lifting weights. And even things like carrying your shopping, like lugging your bags out.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm on my own. I am married. I do have a husband. He just doesn't live in this country. So I'm lugging stuff myself. Plus, we live quite rural. So we've got quite a big garden. It's quite country-like, I suppose. I have to cut the grass on a ride-on lawnmower and lug the bits at the back that collects all the grass. I have to lug that off and tip it into the kind of heap that we've got. And that is heavy. And I mean, it's like 1/4 of an acre paddock we have in our garden. So all of that stuff I have to do myself. I don't have anyone there to do it for me. So
so it's a bit independent.
Just a tiny violin.
I know. That's her choice, by the way. Anyway, but it's independence, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And not having to rely on other people all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've always been kind of as independent anyway, but being able to do things, it's not so much relying on others, but being able to do it myself and not needing to ask anyone to do it for me. Although I do need help getting pictures up on my wall because the ladders are too long anyway. I take photos of the dogs and I put them on the wall in the shop, and we've got really, really high
and they're
walls.
really high ones.
Yeah. And I keep looking at my really long ladders thinking, I could just go up there. But I'm on my own and I'm thinking, no.
Yeah, that's a safety issue. Yeah, that's not,
but in my head it's
to
like,
get up the
I'm
ladder.
just fucking doing it.
Yeah, you could do it.
I know.
Sorry, right, if we just speak briefly about your nutrition and your diet, so how has that changed over the years, and is it better now based on, sorry, that's just us, we're having a whiff, based on the improvements that you've been working on over the last couple of months?
Yeah. Nutrition-wise, I mean, like all your midlife women, I've done every diet under the sun. Yeah. I said to you earlier, I first went to a slimming class when I was in my early 20s and I only had 2 stone to lose. And by the way, when I lost my 2 stone, I was like that. Yeah. So it just shows you
probably really too skinny.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I didn't need to go, and I didn't, but I guess standards were different then. So that was my first foray into it. Also at one point in my working career, before I had my pet shop, I was a graphic designer. And we worked for Scottish Slimmers. We put together one of their plans. You know, it was that particular one was like a wee ring binder you got, and it had like inserts and all that. And we did the design for it all. So I had Scottish Slimmers on my desk every single day for about 8 months. And I mean, I could recite it in my sleep, the plans that you did. And obviously I thought, well, I might as well follow it because, you know, it's good research. So there was all that. And I think I know what to eat. Of course I know what to eat and what not to eat and good and bad and all the rest of it. It was just actually doing it that's a problem for me. And also I think when they tell you, when you go to these classes, they don't educate you in why it works. Yes, it works. If you follow any diet plan, it works. Of course it does. But you don't know why. You know, you don't understand what protein's doing to your body or what carbs are doing to your body or the importance of water and all of that. You just know that you have to do it. Do this, do this, do this. Eat this, eat that, don't eat this and don't eat that. And it works. And I think now, doing your nutrition coaching, it's making me understand what is going into my body and why I have to, you know, stick to whatever calories or macros or whatever it is I'm working on. And I'm understanding what it's doing to my body. And it's allowing me to make not better choices, because I think my diet was pretty much as it is now, really. There's a few changes. I do eat a lot more protein now. But I think it's making me understand a little bit more about what's going in and fueling my body. And things like, even little things like when I come to the gym, a small carby snack before you go to the gym. I now understand why I should do that.
For energy.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, okay, I get that now.
It'll make you train better and then you'll feel awesome.
Yeah, so and then having protein afterwards, and now it's understanding why you do what you do and why it's good for your body, and I don't think any of these diet plans that we did back in the 90s and the 2000s actually educated you. Well, they don't, because then they'll keep you coming back. If they don't tell you their secrets, then you'll keep coming back.
Of course you will, because the minute you leave and the minute you stop going, you get a bit gallus and you think that, and you automatically revert back to the way that you used to eat. You put the weight on again and then you go back. Yeah, that's how they make their money.
I'd said before, I've never been a yo-yo dieter. I was brought up on home cooked food. My mum's a really good cook, and we always had kind of well-rounded, balanced meals. So I've never been a yo-yo dieter. It's very, very gradually crept up. And now I'm losing it. It's very, very gradually going back down again. I think it's just learning about what I should be eating and why I'm eating it, and calorie control, really. Yeah. And I never did that before. You would just stop eating. Yeah. I'll just skip a few meals and I'll be fine. Yeah. Which is not the way to do it. And you've mentioned before in our training sessions about losing muscle is not good. No. Losing fat is great. Yeah. But losing muscle, and I think that's what I would have done in the past.
Oh, we just wanted to get skinny. So when you go on a diet when you're younger, you literally, the only thing you're trying to do is get a bit narrower. You're just trying to get a bit skinny. But when you get to our age, understanding why we're doing it, so every single fat loss plan for midlife women should be about body composition. It's not just about getting skinny. Yeah. And it's not about, well, it is, because I hear it all the time, to be fair. Not you did not say this to me, but the amount of clients that I take on midlife women, and they're like, I want to get to my pre-baby weight, or I want to get to the weight when I was 20. Just like, fuck off. Set yourself a realistic goal. Yeah. We're not the same shape. We're not the same people. That's okay.
I mean, for me,
that's fine.
I think it's dress size. I don't want to get rid of my entire wardrobe and buy 3 sizes smaller. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. But I am guilty of making one dress size go over about 3 stone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that for me is an issue. I know when that pair of jeans is at the upper end of that bracket, but I would like that pair of jeans to be at the very lowest end of that bracket. And that's all that I think about. I'm not really bothered about the actual scale weight, but how I feel in my body and in my wardrobe. Because like I say, I can't afford to buy a new wardrobe.
No. Which, to be fair, Jill, is absolutely, that's like brilliant to hear. You want to be able to open the doors of your wardrobe and pick anything out and feel comfortable in it. Yes. As opposed to
exactly
squeezing yourself into
that. No, I'll keep that in. Exactly.
Scale weight doesn't matter, and the size on it doesn't matter, because we all know that each shop is all different. It's about having that choice when you open the wardrobe, knowing whatever you pick out the wardrobe, you can put it on, you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to feel fucking awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty much. And that's my goal.
Yeah, that's a brilliant goal. That's like one of the healthiest goals ever.
Awesome.
Absolutely. She briefly mentioned slimming clubs. Was that, when were you at your lowest health and nutrition wise?
Probably.
Was it then, or
no? I don't think as well. I think probably the lockdown. I mean, I've not really had any low moments really. Probably health wise. Oh, there's me Jasper again. Health wise, I think probably COVID time, because that was when I put on a bit of weight. I wasn't doing any exercise. Mm-hmm. I was stuck in the house, as we all were, and peri-menopause hit. I mean, it's like flipping triple whammy. Yeah. So that
quadruple whammy.
Well, quadruple whammy, aye. So I mean, that was probably when I was at my least happy, nutritionally and health wise and fitness wise. I mean, I don't really have any health issues as such, other than peri-menopause. But I think that was probably when I was feeling a wee bit shite, you know?
Yeah.
And then, absolutely. And running your own business as well, it's tough. And, you know, we had to really change the way our business worked because of COVID. And there was a lot of things going on at that time. Yeah. My husband was away for 5 months. I didn't know when he would actually get home. So there was a lot of things going on in life. And I think that that was probably my lowest in terms of nutrition. I mean, it's terrible to say this now. There was an ice lolly that came out round about then. I think it was a Haagen-Dazs maybe, or Reese's, something like that. It was a peanut butter ice lolly. Oh my God. And I found myself eating these things like 4 nights a week.
Like they were going out of fashion.
And I thought that was
no
ridiculous.
Today, we were in lockdown.
Exactly. And it was like, oh my God.
You were either an alcoholic,
Yeah.
pregnant,
Or a fat pie.
or a fat pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much
That would be me.
I came out fat.
Well, yeah, because I'm not a drinker.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously, I've had my bits whipped out, so
Yeah.
that would be an
Yeah.
immaculate conception. Aye, a fat pie.
Yeah,
That
me
would
too.
be me.
Me too. It's tough, man.
Good ice lollies though, and I haven't had one since. Let me tell you, because it was like, no, stop, just stop.
Just stop. Would you say now, in comparison to the lowest point in COVID, that you have a more balanced lifestyle?
100%. I think about things more. I plan things more. I plan my meals. I mean, I don't have young kids at home. My daughter's at home, who is the fussiest person on the planet. She's 25. Anyway, but I do adapt what I eat to what I know she'll eat. I plan what I'm eating. I plan my day. I plan my meals. I plan my fitness. Nobody wants to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym when it's -6 outside. No one. No one wants to do that.
It's true.
People do say to me, how do you do that? How do you do that? But you know, I hear your wee voice. You said once. So Cara said to us once, discipline is first. And then discipline brings motivation. Yeah. No one is motivated to get
Even
out of bed.
I'm not motivated.
No one is.
No.
No one is. It just doesn't happen. But discipline is there. And when I wake up, when my alarm goes off and I wake up, I'm like, oh, fuck this, I don't want to get in my bed. But you know what? I'm awake. Yeah. Even if I didn't come to the gym, even if I decided I'm going to patch it today, I would lie there awake. Or just awake. I'm like, well, I might as well get up. Yeah. So I think discipline, I'm way more disciplined than I ever used to be with myself. I have to be, because I'm not great at doing my own thing. I'm not. See, classes work for me. Yeah. Whether it's CrossFit or, I was going to say spin, but actually no. But even the running club, actual guided
and it was because it was at set times, and you literally all you had to do in the running club was turn up. Yeah. They would sort out everything else. You just literally had to turn up.
Do this, and do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is what I say to the ladies. You just say turn up.
Look at the board. Do this, and do this. Okay. Yeah. And that works for me, because I'm not very good at self-discipline. I'm just not. So that's why it's much better for me to just, I know I need to be here and I need to be here. And I'm still not great at planning my meals, but I'm getting better.
So doing it like a week at a time doesn't work for you. Yeah. That works for me. My coaching is not about me telling you
I
what
get
to
quite
do,
overwhelmed.
but we need to work towards. And we've tried a week at a time, and it nearly tipped you over the edge, which is cool.
Took me the whole day.
Yeah, exactly. So doing 2 to 3 days in advance works for you.
I am a bit of an overthinker. I've realised this. Yeah. Actually, even when we were doing the rowing this morning, I'm a real overthinker. So I have to take things in smaller chunks.
Which is cool, because that's what works for you.
But it's nice to be able to know that about yourself. And I think there's so many people out there that don't realise that that's how they are. So being able to recognise these traits in yourself can really make a difference in your day-to-day life. Yeah. Get me, all philosophical.
Total philosophical. I'm a philosophical coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, no. But it's about my experiences, it's about my clients' experience, but it's about encouraging my clients to find out what works for them. Mm-hmm. What about your training, ladies at Lift? Do you wing it, or do you book that in advance?
Book it when I finish. I do.
So smug. Honestly, I'm sitting here. This is like my ideal client sitting next to me.
I'm not sucking up to teacher. Honestly, I'm really not. Do you know why I do that? Because my brain is like the size of a pea. I will forget. Yeah. So as soon as I come out, I'll book it in for the next week. That's why I do it that way. Yeah. Because I will forget. And
then also, you're just freeing up your brain space, because all you need to do is turn up.
But also, it shows up in my calendar then. So as soon as I book it in, it shows up automatically in my calendar. So I know it's there. So if somebody asks me, what are you doing on, next Thursday? I'll be able to see, oh, I've got ladies that lift first. So that helps me as well because I'm scatterbrained.
No, I get that. And I was going to, the last question that we have, which we've kind of we've covered them all in a roundabout sort of way, was what have you found the most helpful since working with me? But even just what you said a minute ago about finding out who you actually are, and what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah, and I think that works really well with coaching. Well, you're coaching, any coaching, I suppose. You're not lecturing. You're not a teacher. No. You're a coach, and I think that's the difference. And I'll be honest, I wasn't aware of what coaches did. But you will look at us and say, right, well, you are good at doing this, you're good at planning, you're not good at planning a week in advance, so let's work with how you are good at. So you can recognise our strengths and weaknesses. I'm saying I mean me, I'm just kind of saying all your clients, but for me, you're good at recognising strengths and weaknesses, and you'll coach us through it. So you're not doing it for us. No. You're saying, you know, whatever works for you, and there's always that feedback. You know, we'll check in every week and we'll talk about, did this work for you? No. Well, let's try it this way, and we'll do another week and come back and we'll look at it. Did it work? Yes, it did. Well, we'll continue with that. So I think for me, that's really good, because it's like you're holding a hand through it, but we're still doing it. Or like, you know, that analogy of when you're learning to ride a bike, you're holding onto the saddle. Yeah. You're holding onto the saddle, and then eventually you're just going to let go, and off we go. Yeah. Yeah, because unlike the slimming clubs, I don't want to keep you forever. I don't want you to pay me for the rest of your life. Do you know what? I want you to do what you need to do, and then set you free. Yeah. Spread your wings. So I think that's what I think is good for me, is that I don't feel that I'm being lectured. I don't feel that I'm being dictated to. I'm not being told, you must eat this, you must not eat that. And I think that's good. But on a fitness perspective, you need to do that. Yeah. You must do this, you must not do that. Yeah. You must try harder. Yes. Come on, ladies, dig in. That's okay. That's okay. It's weird, isn't it? It is weird. It's like the two sides of Caris. I totally. Yeah, because I would never dream of telling you what to eat, but I would absolutely tell you to get a rock up your arse. Yeah, because imagine if you were doing your nutrition coach in Ladies That Lift. You imagine, right? Well, if you feel like you want to try a wee bit harder, just try a bit. Carnage. That would be a nightmare. Absolute carnage. Yeah, we'd all be sitting around. Yeah, I've never thought about that before. Actually. There you go. There you go. Right, and then finally, so Jill's story, I am going to let Jill tell us a bit about Kelso and Titch, because that's your livelihood. Yeah, so it's a very long story. I won't go into the whole details of it. I was a designer for a long time. I'm not anymore. I lived abroad for a long, long time as a family. The last posting we were in, we adopted a dog, Kelso. We adopted her from the neighbour next door, who, another expat family. Sorry, where were you? We were in Angola. Oh, right, okay. We've lived in Norway, Libya, Angola. My husband is currently in Saudi. Anyway, we were in Angola. The neighbours next door had this dog, and they were leaving. They were going back to Indonesia, and were not taking her with them. Don't judge, it's common. Anyway, I had said, well, look, we can't do that. Well, we'll take her. So we took her, and we knew we were leaving 6 months ahead. Visa had expired and all the rest of it. So we knew we were coming back. So we started putting into play with the, it's not quarantine, it's all the rabies stuff, so that she could get a pet passport and didn't have to do quarantine. Anyway, long story short, we brought her back here. But while we were in Angola, you couldn't really get treats out there. All right, okay. Or things you could get, you were never quite sure. Dog treats, by the way. Dog treats. Dog treats. Dog treats. You were never quite sure what had crawled over it first. Okay. We're in West Africa here. So I got a recipe online, found a recipe for biscuits, made some biscuits for her, adapted it to what I could get there, and she loved them. Friends' dogs loved them. And then when we came back to the UK, we repatriated about 11 years ago, sorry. At that point, my husband was still travelling overseas, so I couldn't go back to a 9-to-5 job because I was taking the kids to school, and at the time we lived quite far away from the school. So I was driving back and forth, taking the kids to school, and I thought, well, I need to do something. So I set myself up in business making dog treats, named it after Kelso, current dog, and Titch was a previous dog. That's how it started. We started making biscuits. I then got a factory, then had staff. We supplied businesses all over the place. And then a couple of years ago, we did crafts actually, and we were at crafts, and it was difficult. The business was kind of a victim of its own success, if you like, right? Because we'd gotten so busy that I needed to make that leap to factory level, like proper factory level, and I didn't have six figures to invest. And we were too busy. We were busy fools, as they say. And we were too busy. I had maxed out on staff. I had maxed out on equipment, and we weren't making the money.
Yeah.
So alongside that, people kept asking us, we did events and things like that, and people kept saying, oh, have you got a shop? Have you got a shop? Oh, have you got a shop? We were online and we did events, and I thought, maybe we should have a shop. I don't know, we'll do crafts. So we did crafts with our own brand as a last ditch attempt to save the business. Set myself up at crafts, and it looked like a shop. Every time I did an event, it looked like a shop. And when I say look like a shop, it's like a wee counter and a till, and I'm like, every event I do looks like a shop. So after crafts, my husband had said, well, why don't you just get a shop? So I thought, right, okay, we'll look into it. Found a shop unit in Bridge of Allan. I was quite particular about where I wanted it to be, just with the nature of the business that I've got and its customer base and things. Bridge of Allan was the right place. There had been another shop there before that had closed earlier that year. So I would never have opened had they still been there. But they had closed down a few months earlier, and I thought, oh, this is it. This is my chance. Found a unit, which was perfect, and opened up the shop alongside the manufacturing side of things. And as it turned out, that's where we needed to be. So it was just like a sideways move, and the manufacturing fell away, and we focused on the shop, and I'm now a shop lady.
What was that?
That would have
How old are
been
you?
2.5 years in the shop. The business itself is 11 years old. So we had a kind of established customer base anyway. People know the name Kelso and Titch, but the actual shop premises is 2.5 years old. Bloody love it. Love it.
Best thing you did?
Yeah. Should have done it years ago.
I know. Do you know, Jill, you hear that all the time. Proof that you can do anything in midlife.
I absolutely love it. And I get to pet dogs all day. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. So Jill is on Instagram. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Actually?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I would say LinkedIn, but don't go on there.
No, don't go on LinkedIn. That's full of suits. Kelso and Titch?
Kelso and Titch. It's the word and, not an ampersand. Kelso and Titch.
Kelso and Titch.
You'll find us.
Give her a follow.
And you get to see my beautiful face most mornings when I talk to the
And I'm just going to stick you right in it just now. We've just been having a conversation about speaking in front of the camera and stuff, and Instagram Live. So Jill's going to do her first Instagram Live. I said I would chum her because I remember me trying to do my first. It was awful. And I can only thank Joe Haston for making me go on. So surely you need to pass that on. So we'll have the Kelso and Titch Instagram Lives coming very soon. Yeah, but Jill, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your fitness, your previous life, your life now, your nutrition, and just your general awesomeness. It's amazing. Thanks
for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. See you soon.